Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is our first video. The name will be Family Sports Fanatics. In this channel, we'll basically be covering a lot of NFL and NHL content and just all the sorts like that. So today we'll be doing the 2021 NHL regular season predictions. So I'll let my dad explain the new format.
Yeah, so the new format is based on the COVID situation, and the Canadian teams will stay in one division in the North, and then you've got, the closest ones in the West together, a Central Division and an East Division, but much different than previous years. The great things about that is that it will create little mini playoffs. Like, I looked at the schedule and I see some teams going in, like Vancouver will go into Calgary and play like 2 games in a row in Calgary, or 3 games in Montreal or something. So it's almost like mini playoff series, which will really make for excellent rivalries, I think, and also make it challenging for coaches and to figure out, like, once teams play one game, now you can readjust, and it should make for some interesting dynamics. And probably the downfall would be that you don't get to see your favorite team play all the teams in the league like you normally would. Yeah. So you would like to see, how your goalie, say I'm a Canucks fan, so how my guys stack up against Ovechkin or something until we get to the playoffs. So go ahead, James.
Alrighty, so we'll start with the North predictions. The teams in the new North Division, or the Canadian Division, is Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, and Winnipeg. So I'll let my dad start off with his predictions.
Okay, so in the North, I've taken some bold predictions on this one. I mean, I looked at previous standings, and you can look at wins and losses, but was a very different thing compared to what we're going into now. And so what I've come up with the Leafs. I said the Leafs are going to win the North Division. Based on, they've got a lot of talent on that team. You got Freddie Anderson staying healthy, in the goaltending situation, if their defense is strong, they should be challenged. They should be at the top, but they'll be challenged by Edmonton, who I have second. And because I'm a homer, I took Vancouver to go third in that division. I like the goaltending tandem, providing Thatcher Demko goes into this season and can build on. Sorry?
Braden Holtby, too.
Well, they brought in Holtby, right, as a replacement and a solid backup who has, pretty good pedigree. And then I got Calgary Flames. Again, really good, I think a really good goaltending tandem with Jacob Markstrom now there. And you got Riddick, who's solid in his own right. And they've changed some things in Calgary. I see them sneaking into fourth. I've got the Jets in fifth. I know the Jets got interesting things with Patrick Laine and contract things and possible trade stuff, maybe in the offseason next year. And that's going to plague them. How well does he play this season? He's, is he, what does he do? That's going to be a big thing. The team's talented, and Hellebuck in goal is fantastic. But we'll see how that plays out. And then I got Montreal 6. Carey Price. Yeah, so I was talking about Montreal. My video, I accidentally cut it off. We're new at this, so it's going to be a few glitches. But, Montreal's great. They made a lot of good changes, and we'll see how they go. But really, it's a crapshoot. I don't see Ottawa really jumping much in the standings and probably staying in the very last spot. I know that's going to really bother some of my friends, but they're not ready yet. And go ahead, James.
Yeah, so I started off with my predictions. I went with Toronto at first.
Well, hold on. I wanted to show what I had on the board anyways. So I had the North. So Toronto, Edmonton, Vancouver, Calgary, Winnipeg, Montreal, and Ottawa.
So, anyways, I did start my number 1 with Toronto. I just think their offense is stellar this year. They're getting so much better on defense, and I think Frederik Andersen's a pretty solid goalie. So, I think they'll have first. At second, I have Edmonton. Obviously, they got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, arguably the 2 best players in the league. They're a pretty solid team all around. They're building a lot of young faces, and they've got Mike Smith between the pipes, I believe. So, I'm pretty confident with that team. I definitely do think when you've got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on your team, they could overtake Toronto for first as well. That's definitely a possibility. But at third, I have Calgary. Calgary, still my favorite team, the Canucks, obviously. my whole team. They took Jacob Markstrom, who's an awesome goalie. He's stellar. They got some pretty key pieces this year. I believe they got Tyson Barrie or something along the lines like that. I don't know. They've got some pretty key additions, but I think Calgary's a pretty well-rounded team, and they're going to be pretty good this year. At fourth, I've got Vancouver. This is a tricky one between Winnipeg and Montreal. All those three teams could, take over the spots, but I have Vancouver at fourth, as I think their goalie tandem's, really well. We've got tons of young new faces, and our offense is pretty darn good, and our defense is building with a lot of new good pickups over the offseason, so I have Vancouver at fourth. Winnipeg at fifth, same thing. They have Connor Hellebuck, and a team with Connor Hellebuck could do really good, so I got them at fifth. I think they're a pretty well-rounded team. I've got Montreal at sixth. A lot of young and older faces, and I think they're a pretty gritty team, and I think they could get fourth spot and squeak that out. And then at seventh, I got Ottawa. They're building. They got a lot of good draft picks this year. They had a good offseason. They're rebuilding well, but I just don't think they have what it takes to make the playoffs this year. So that's my North things. This is my board, as you can see, just all the teams lined up and written down there. So that's what I have. So now we'll move on to the West. In the West teams are Anaheim, Arizona, Colorado, Los Angeles, Minnesota, San Jose, St. Louis, and Vegas.
Okay, so in the West, I've got Colorado taking the West, and maybe Las Vegas and St. Louis give them a go, but I still think that Colorado is, just going to be crazy good. And I got Colorado number one. I got Las Vegas number two. Again, a solid team, makes made the playoffs. Really, did really well again last year. I got St. Louis third. I got Minnesota fourth. Minnesota got to the playoffs last year. I have them edging out Arizona. I got Los Angeles, and they got a ways to go to grow yet. San Jose in seventh, Anaheim in eighth. That's what my predictions look like for the West. And these guys up here. And there's been a lot of people talking about San Jose making a push and getting up in here. Maybe they get up in here and knock these two teams down. Who knows? We really get a good idea after a couple of weeks into the season. And that's me, and then James is going to come up and show you his board for his predictions for the West.
Yeah. At first, in the West Division, I have Vegas. Vegas is a stellar team. I have them at first, especially with their momentum for every year they've been in the NHL. Every year they're doing really good. They're making the playoffs. I think they're finishing first in the Old Pacific quite a few times. Maybe every year they've been in the league or something close to that. I think they've got two good goaltenders, and Marc-Andre Fleury, obviously, he's a stud, and Robin Leonard really proved himself this season. So I got them at first, especially with that pickup of Alex Pietrangelo. He's awesome. He's one of the best defensemen in the league, in my opinion. He's awesome. At second, I've got Colorado. Colorado, they've just got such a good, well-rounded team. Their defense is awesome, especially, they have Cale Makar and Bowen Byram, two very young defensemen. You guys all saw how Bowen Byram played with Team Canada at the World Juniors, and Cale Makar, obviously, last year, the Calder winner. So, that right there. Two very young defensemen. They've got Nathan McKinnon, obviously, and there's not a whole lot to say about Nathan McKinnon. He's just great. And then, I think that's a very good team. St. Louis at third. You can't not have them at the playoffs. They did win Stanley Cup 2 years back, so they're still up there. Very good team. They did lose Pietrangelo, but I still think they're up there in the Western Conference, or whatever conference they decide to have this season. I got fourth. This is a bold prediction. This may throw some of you off. I got Arizona. I think Arizona's just, they're just a good team, and I have faith in them. They're just getting better every year. They're growing as a team, and they're a pretty good group of guys, so I think they'll squeak out the fourth spot. Fifth, I've got Minnesota. Minnesota, they did get beat in the play-in rounds by my team. Let's go Canucks. But, I still think that they have a chance, maybe to even get fourth, but I just don't know if I can put them in the playoff picture yet. At sixth, I got Anaheim. I mean, they didn't have a very good year last year, and I'm pretty sure they did get some picks in the top 10 at least this year, so I think they will be improving. All the LA teams will. Or all the California teams will, I mean. At 7, I've got LA. LA, they just picked up Quentin Byfield, second overall, so I'm confident in that team, and I think, they could do, they're getting a lot better, and I think they'll just improve over the next couple of years and squeak their way back into that playoff picture. At 8, I got San Jose. That might be a little bit of a shocker. Lots of people had San Jose a lot higher last year, just because it's San Jose and they've been playing so well, but they had an off year, and especially since they lost a lot of high draft pick that I believe Ottawa took. So I do think that they're at the bottom of the pack, but they'll be getting better over the next few years. So that's my West predictions. This is my board, Vegas, Colorado, St. Louis, Arizona, Minnesota, Anaheim, LA, and San Jose. So that's my Western Division predictions.
Okay, so James is gonna read out the Central Division.
Yeah, so the teams in the Central, the Carolina Hurricanes, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Dallas Stars, Detroit Red Wings, the Florida Panthers, Nashville Predators, and the defending Cup champs, the Tampa Bay Lightning.
So I have Tampa Bay winning that division still. I mean, they don't have Kucherov.
Yeah.
He's out for the season, I guess. Is it the season?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's going to be a big. But they're the defending champs. I think they'll still win the division. I got Dallas coming in second, and I got Carolina. I love the way Carolina plays, fast hockey. Coach Roddy Brindamore, good style. They'll get in third, and then I've got Nashville hanging into fourth. That's the one that I'm iffy about. I don't know about Nashville. Nashville's been around for a long time and doing really well, but that one there I was a little bit iffy on. So I've got Nashville in fourth, Florida in fifth. Columbus 6th, Chicago and Detroit. We got a long ways. Chicago's on the way down. They're going to probably need to retool, and maybe some of those great veterans will go somewhere else for the last part of their careers. And then, so 7th, Chicago, and then 8th, Detroit. Here's what my board for the Central looks like. So Tampa Bay, Dallas, Carolina, Nashville, Florida, Columbus, Chicago, and Detroit.
For me, for my Central Division, I've got Tampa Bay at first. I mean, like he said, Nikita Kucherov is out for the season, but I still think they've got so much depth in that team and the defending Cup champs that they'll take the division. At second, I know a lot of people got Dallas over Carolina, but I got Carolina over Dallas. I mean, I think they're a very well-rounded team. I think they've only been getting that better, and that defense is awesome. Dougie Hamilton's awesome, and I think they'll just continue to prove themselves as a Cup contending team over the next few years, so I have them at second. At third, I have the Dallas Stars. I mean, you can't have them anywhere lower and then the top three in that division. They just made it to the Cup Finals against Tampa Bay, and obviously they're a strong team. Any team that makes the Stanley Cup playoffs has obviously got to be a strong, well-rounded team, so there they are. At fourth, I got Nashville. Like him, still a little iffy about that. I mean, I think maybe even Columbus or Florida could squeak that spot out of them, and, we'll just see what happens throughout the season. Fifth, I got Columbus. Sixth, I got Florida. Seventh, I've got Chicago. They definitely need to rebuild. They're coming off that massive dynasty where they just won cup after cup after cup. But, those older guys will... they're retiring soon or they're getting out of there soon. So, we'll see what happens. And 8, I've got Detroit. It's obvious. Sorry, Detroit fans. But, here's my board. Obviously, Tampa Bay, Carolina.
Those are your essential picks?
Yeah. Tampa Bay, Carolina, Dallas, Nashville, Columbus, Florida, Chicago, and Detroit. And now we'll move on to the East Division. So the teams in the East are the Boston Bruins, the Buffalo Sabres, New Jersey Devils, New York Islanders, New York Rangers, the Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Washington Capitals.
All right, for the Beasts of the East, we got I got the Flyers. That's a team on a trajectory. I've got them as number one. I got them actually taking out Boston, knocking Boston down. Chara's moved on. And I think Chara, even with his age, was such a vital part of their defensive core. And did Torrey Krug get moved too? Yeah. So they lost Krug. I don't know. They got such. It's that really one line in the main line and the top line is so prolific in every situation. But I got them finishing second. I've got the New York Islanders coming in third. Barry Trotz, huge fan of that guy. Such a great coach. And they're a really tough team to play against by the looks of things in last year's playoffs. And then I got Buffalo sneaking in and getting the fourth playoff spot in there. I got them moving up, and I know they got Taylor Hall coming in there this year. They've got that rookie, the Canadian kid,
Dylan Cousins.
Yeah, Dylan Cousins is gonna. I don't know how much of an impact he'll have in his first season if he makes a team or whatever. But I really like Buffalo, and then I got Washington fifth. Not making it. I've got Pittsburgh 6th. I know, look at people will be like, what? You get Washington, Pittsburgh not making the playoffs. Tough division. And then New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils finishing things off in the East. So here's what my board looks like. So we got Philly 1, Boston 2, New York Islanders 3, Buffalo, Washington, Pittsburgh, New York Rangers, and New Jersey.
Alrighty, for my Eastern Division predictions, I've got Philadelphia at first over Boston. Just like you said, I think Philadelphia is such a strong team with Carter Hart between the pipes. He's so good. And like he said, losing Torrey Krug and Zdeno Chara, who is a massive leader in that locker room. And I think that definitely does hurt with those two guys going missing. And, who knows, they might have a little bit of an off year after last year's great year, but we'll just have to wait and see. So Boston's my second. At third, I've got Pittsburgh. I mean, you can't rule out a team with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin out of the playoffs, especially that if Tristan Jarry plays good, that team's going to play good. And as long as, they can keep up solid goaltending and, with Chris Letang as a defenseman, I'm confident in that team. At fourth, I've got the Islanders. I think the Islanders, last year they impressed everybody. And Barry Trotz is, one of the best coaches in the league, in my opinion. And I think, I think that's an awesome team. So I think they'll squeak that in at the fourth spot. At fifth, I've got Washington. It's so hard to take them out of the playoff picture when they've got Ovi. Ovi, one of the best goal scorers of all time, in my opinion. He'll overtake Wayne Gretzky with the scoring record. At sixth, I've got the New York Rangers. I mean, with the first overall pick, I think Alexis Lafreniere, he's just a game changer as Connor McDavid was in his rookie season. I think he'll have that impact and could take them. Who knows? They could even squeak them to the fourth spot. Who knows? The team with Artemi Panarin and Mika Zibanejad, too. It's a great team. At seventh, I got Buffalo. I mean, I would put Buffalo higher, especially since they just got Taylor Hall and they've got Jack Eichel and Dahlin. And I think they got a good team, but they just, disappoint me every year. So I don't know how far I can say that they can get. They could go sixth or fifth, maybe even fourth, but I have them down at seventh for now. And at eight, I've got New Jersey. So here's my board. I've got Philadelphia, Boston, Pittsburgh, New York Islanders, Washington Capitals, the New York Rangers, Buffalo, and New Jersey. So that's our Eastern Division predictions. So that's the end of the video, guys. We really thank you for watching. Please hit the like and the subscribe button and leave a comment. And we highly appreciate all the suggestions you guys may have for us, and any video ideas you guys might want to see based around the NHL or the NFL. Just let us down in the comments, and yeah, we'll try to work at it. So
just the last thing is, like, we know that this is probably not gonna really amount to much as far as, like, it's pretty saturated out there as far as videos and people doing this kind of stuff. We just wanted to do it as a hobby and kind of keep track of our own predictions. And if people like it and want to chime in the comments and stuff and follow us, that would be great. Thank you very much for watching.
Have a good day, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.